This is the LowcoSports Lowdown podcast. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr.
Oh, the Libs made it. It was a countdown. It was a photo finish. The Libs ditched right when we started rolling, and I wasn't sure if he was going to make it back. I thought we might get some excitement at the end there. But welcome to the LowcoSports Lowdown. Justin Jarrett joined not as always, but for this time and perhaps future times by Kevin Libby and Marcus Walsh, the dynamic duo from WHHI TV. Marcus and the Libs. What's going on, fellas?
Yes,
welcome to the show. They're stepping in because Wes was in transit from HHCA JP2. He had to stick around for some post-game stuff for Prep Red Zone. So he was in transit. So he'll join us in the back half of the show tonight, and we'll talk a little more about that football game, which was not very interesting. 51-3, Hilton Head Christian, running clock in the second half. Yeah, it got ugly pretty quickly. But HHCA looked good. No Christian Tilton. So
that's a big deal.
That made it kind of an uphill climb for JP2. But nonetheless, they fought for a while, and they just got kind of run over. But Wes will tell us more about that later on, because our first guest tonight will be, and not including you gentlemen, of course, who are guest co-hosts tonight, but our first guest will be Claire Green. She's on a heater on the golf course for the May River golf team. She had a disappointing showing, I would say, that she'll tell us about, where she was upset that she didn't play better at Moss Creek in that LPGA thing. And man, she's turned it into motivation fuel, because she's been on fire ever since and been grinding at it. So we'll talk more with her about what's coming ahead for her, and as well as the hot streak she's been on, and talk more about high school football and some other headlines. But how are you fellas doing? I know you're looking forward to a big Bluffton Bowl. What are we calling this thing?
It is
Crosstown Showdown.
It's the Bluffton Bowl for me.
I feel weird about Bluffton Bowl because one of the teams is called Bluffton, and
it's what we've been doing at WHHI for years.
Can we go B-Town Bowl
with the legitimate games that we have? That's a Jeremy call, but it's been the Bluffton Bowl since 2016 for me. I've called a lot of them. I'm really looking forward to this one tomorrow. Obviously, Daniel Court, Larry Jackmon will be alongside. Kevin, I hope you have a jacket that you're ready to brace, because you might be stuck in the rain. We will be in the press box for most of the night. But I'm really looking forward to this one, because you look at what Bluffton can do. And obviously, Kevin, you saw them a few weeks ago against Hilton Head. We know what they can do. They have a great quarterback in Owen Bays. They have a lot of really good talent. The offensive and defensive lines, the trench play, we talk about it all the time. It's going to be a big key. May River is coming off a huge win, and I'm sorry that I couldn't attend that game last week against Colleton County.
Down with the sickness.
Yeah, I was definitely down with the sickness for sure. But they come back with a huge win, and their first win in the last 5 weeks. And so I'm really excited for this game tomorrow. Home game for Bluffton. There's just something about that environment, being at the Den.
It's 5-4
game. In terms of May River having the lead, they've won the last 5. Bluffton took the first 4. They actually played twice. And of course, I'll probably repeat all this stuff tomorrow. They played twice in 2016 and 17.
That's okay. Different audience. This is the night crew. Right. We get the lunchtime crew tomorrow.
Get the lunchtime crew tomorrow.
Yeah.
And WHHI has covered one of those games every year. Of course, they did not cover both in both 16 and 17.
Right. Yeah.
But we've covered them a lot, and I've seen
those were not games. 16 and 17 weren't very interesting games anyway.
Right. Absolutely.
Ken Cribb was just bullying, and it was gross those 2 years.
I'm looking forward to tomorrow for sure. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I was talking to somebody earlier. We had the last 2 weeks off at WHHI, and then I missed the previous week with Hilton Head and Bluffton.
You're jonesing, dude. You're jonesing.
Elvis. I can reprise that, because apparently I can't play it for you. But I was doing my Elvis thing and shaking my hips on stage. Not really good. Oh yeah. And so I was doing that, and I was talking to somebody earlier this week, and I was just like, yeah, I haven't called a game in 3 weeks, but it felt like 3 years, just because I was doing Elvis and then traveling, and then the 2 weeks off, and I got sick, and everything just happened. But I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. It's going to be fun.
Libs, you haven't gotten a word in edgewise, bro.
Sorry,
You're
buddy.
on sideline. You're on sideline reporter duty.
I got that, and I get some of the B-roll we use up top. I just want to shout out Coach Crib.
Oh yeah, I always see you shooting the B-roll. Around before the game. You're always like on the side of the road shooting signs and stuff.
You call it out, like we drop the window, and you're just like, gotta get that establishment shot. That was after my heart when you yelled at JJ. You're my guy.
That's right.
JJ, shout out to Coach Crib. Do you remember the meat wagon back when Bluffton was big town?
Yeah. Although I'm familiar with the meat wagon, it was sort of in my blind spot because it was in that period when I was at USCB and not covering local sports, but I was quite familiar because Jabias is my boy. So Jabias Johnson was he was the anchor of the meat wagon. So yes, I'm quite familiar with the meat wagon.
JJ, we have from one of the bowls, we have a video of him going over the top as a ball carrier. It's a beautiful piece of football. Yeah, man.
Oh, bro, I gotta see that. Yeah, you gotta pull that one out of the files and show it on Lowco Game Day Live tomorrow. But without further ado, fellas, before we go any further, let's get Claire Green in here because it's a school night and stuff, and so we should get on with the show. Claire Bear, welcome back to the show. You're now a frequent guest and friend of the show, as promised, after your outstanding performance before. And since we've seen you, I mentioned it earlier, but I happen to know, because your coach is a good friend of mine, that you did not want to come on the show after the thing at Moss Creek because you were not happy with how you played the first round. Felt like you kind of shot yourself out of it. But every round since then has been a scorcher. So kind of take us through what this past month or so has been like for you, and how you've been able to have the success that you have.
Thank you for having me, Justin. I'm glad to be back on the show. So yeah, we had the Moss Creek Invitational not too long ago. The first day was rather awful to say. It was not my best golf, and definitely it somewhat took me out of that tournament. I think round 2 I came back a little better, posting I think the second lowest score of the day on that day, which was fine. But I think after that tournament, I really took a step back and I was like, this was what went wrong. And I said, moving forward in the season, I can't be doing that again because I'm one of the leaders on my team, so I need to step up and play like one. So I think following that, I had a tournament individually up in North Carolina, and I shot 2 under in the final round to be in a tie for 6th out of a strong field, which is a big motivation. And then I went to regions the next day and shot a 3 under, which was really exciting. I went bogey the first 2 holes, and I think I had like 5 birdies in a row on the front. It was ridiculous. Yeah, and then I played in lower states this past Monday, and it was a roller coaster round, to say the least. There's a lot going on the scorecard. But I just had fun with it in that round. I like that course up there. Made an eagle, had a couple birdies, had a couple not so pretty shots. But, I mean, lately it's just been I've been hitting the ball really well. I've been very confident in my swing and everything. So I think that's allowed me to post some lower numbers and to really be able to take advantage of some of the courses that we're playing.
Claire, I was taking a look at some of your overall numbers over the years, and obviously you've been playing this game a long time. Tell us, and certainly let Kevin and I know what your inspiration has been and who have inspired you along the way to take up the game of golf.
My grandfather has started my 2 older cousins into golf, Max and Danny, who both play Division I golf in college now at West Virginia and Virginia Tech. And having my older cousins in the game of golf has definitely inspired me to chase my aspirations and dreams within the game. But ultimately, I would think the reason I am still playing the game is my grandfather. He's the one who gave me a club when I was 8 years old. And that's when I kind of fell in love with it. And I've kind of just stuck with it since. I played travel soccer up until 8th grade. But after we had that quarantine, I kind of decided that I wanted golf to be the new thing and to try to pursue playing golf in college. So it's been golf ever since.
It's awesome.
Yep.
Libs?
Hey, Claire, for the audience out there who's not a golf fan, if someone's meeting you for the first time, what would you say about where you come from, where you're going, and what you've learned?
I would say I think I've come from a very determined and hardworking family and also a competitive environment. It's very competitive in my household. So I think that's shaped me to be the competitor I am out on the course. I think where I'm going is I'm a very driven individual right now, and I have dreams of playing at a Division I college right now. So we're in that process of trying to figure out where that place is going to be. And so I think the future is where I'm going to end up playing, hopefully collegiate golf. But overall, I would just say I'm a very driven and competitive individual right now with big dreams and aspirations.
Yeah, and you're a high academic achiever, and you've got, you got your head on straight. So when you say that you want to play college golf, you understand, and I'm trying to connect dots for maybe some who don't, that the end goal there is to leverage being able to play golf for 4 more years into something that will flourish for the 40 or 50. So along those lines, obviously you'd love to play so well that you get to play professionally, but that more than likely that's not the end goal. So what are you thinking about career wise, and what are you thinking as far as the academic profile schools you're looking at?
Right now, obviously when evaluating schools, we're looking at the academic and athletic programs because I want to be challenged both academically and athletically. Right. I think right now I would like to major in possibly political science or business. And then after college, if the possibility came up of turning professional, I would definitely want to consider that and taking that. But if not, I would like to go to law school to try to become a lawyer in some type of law. Not sure yet, but something like that.
That's something you don't find out until you get deep into law school and figure out which classes make you want to go to sleep and which ones make your heart race.
Do you have any schools that you're talking to or that are talking to you? Any ideas of where you might be headed after your high school career is finished at May River?
I'm talking to a good group of schools right now. I'm not announcing anything specifically yet. We're kind of in the process of just visiting and phone calls.
Where's the hats?
And trying to figure out where I want to go. I just want to make sure. I think I would say the thing I could say right now is I'm in the process of I'm getting to go on visits right now. But I'm still emailing a bunch of other schools and just really trying to evaluate all my options before I make the final decision about where I'm going to continue my academic and athletic career.
And you have another year, right?
Yeah, I'm a junior right now.
You're a junior, right? Yeah. I can't keep track of y'all's ages because the last 4 years have gone by in warp speed, and y'all just grow up too fast. I can't keep track of how old anybody is. Sometimes I look up on senior night and I'm like, what? No, can't be. But I thought you were a junior, so it's good to affirm my memory every now and then. Libby, you got another question for Claire? You have such thoughtful questions, sir.
Claire, I gave you the big 3 questions. I'm just really excited to see your career, go forward. And we're all big fans here. It's what you get here in the Low Country. It's a golf community first and foremost. What would you say to a young person who wants to do what you're doing and be able to build a career off of getting on the golf course?
I would say to keep up with it no matter what happens. I think golf teaches you a lot of life lessons out on the course. So I would think just staying with it no matter what and just trying to have fun with it at a young age. It'll get to a point where it's serious and everything matters. But I mean, at this age, I'm still trying to figure out how to have fun all the time and to always have a smile on my face when you're on the golf course. And I would say for somebody trying to pursue a career path like mine, to just stay involved and especially if you're a young girl who wants to golf, to try to get involved with older people like myself in programs. So you really, because I feel like that's how you can grow. We can grow the game of golf at my age, and also make sure that we're inspiring the future.
Well, and I mean, you've seen the benefit of that firsthand too, because of the great mentors that we have for girls golf in this area with, Krista Dunton and Rosie Jones, who was part of the LPGA group that hosted the event at Moss Creek. So, I mean, you've had tremendous resources in this area as far as the mentorship that you can get from people who have played at a high level and even professionally. So I guess reflect a little bit on that, just the opportunities and resources that you have in this area that many people across the country aren't privy to.
There's a lot of golf people who really know what they're talking about. So I think trying to take advantage of that and really gain as much knowledge. Rosie Jones right now is one of my mentors that I currently work with. Awesome. So I think she's been the biggest impact on my game, because she's taught me how I need to be on the golf course, but also the person I can be off the golf course, and how that no matter that the score I shoot on whatever day, it doesn't define me. But she also is a good competitor. I haven't beat her on a full 18-hole match yet, I don't think. So she's also giving me that competitive vibe. I'm like always wanting to try to like do better, and you're obviously playing the course, but sometimes you really do want to beat your competitor. But I would say the people we have in the Low Country here for golf are they're so advantageous for everyone at this age, because you really can just soak in the knowledge they know and really grow in the game of golf because of it.
Talk to us a little bit about your coaching staff and what a great thing it is to play for the great staff at May River.
Oh, well, yes. I mean, Nathan Campbell's responsible for all your great play, right? It has nothing to do with Tim Cook.
Yes. So Coach Campbell is currently the coach over at May River High School after taking over for Coach Manassi after she unfortunately had to step down. And he's done a really good job of stepping in and making sure we always have what we need, all the snacks and drinks. He comes around and he makes sure that we're all in a positive mindset, and that we're playing, we're hitting the best shot we can, not just taking the risky shot, taking the best shot.
Team Dad.
Yeah, he's our biggest cheerleader out there. He wants to win the same amount of all of us do. He's very competitive, especially close to the state championship. He's cracked down a little more than the beginning of the season. I can definitely say that. But yeah, we have such a great support system over at May River. Like this past week, everybody's just been so encouraging going into the state championship. I think everybody really wants us to bring a state championship back to the Low Country. And also I have to mention, it's very exciting that pretty much all of the teams in our region qualified for states, like Lucy Beckham,
awesome.
Hilton Head, and Bluffton, which was amazing. But I think we're really hoping to bring back, hopefully, an individual title and a team championship title.
Yeah, absolutely. Give us a little bit of a breakdown, because it's up at Saluda Valley, which is right in Pickens' backyard, and Pickens has been they're one of those teams that's always right up there. They just have a really solid program, good coaching staff that they bring a solid 5 every year. And the number one girl is really strong. I remember seeing her the past couple of years. So that's kind of the competition that you have your eye on, right? As far as from the upper state. And then, I mean, you've seen everybody in the lower state.
Yeah. Going into the state championship at Saluda Valley, I think most of our competition was from lower state. We thought AC Flora was going to be like the second place in lower state, but they came out in fourth. We shot a 313 in North Myrtle Beach, kind of came out of nowhere and shot a 324 right behind us. So we're definitely going to be paired up with them at the state championship, which will be good because we'll be side by side with the competition. But I think AC Flora, Pickens, and Hilton Head, they're all right there. It takes it's 4 girls can have a good score on one day, and you could be chasing them or you could be ahead of them. You never know.
Yeah, it's a lot more holes than you ordinarily play during the regular season. So there's a lot more variance in there, and somebody gets hot, they can sneak in there. But what do you know about the course? Have you played it much?
I have never played Saluda Valley before, to be completely honest with you. for all the golf I've played, nobody on our team has ever been up there.
Well, it's kind of tucked up there. That's why I wondered if you had really gotten up there much, because like our kids don't usually play like the upstate SCJGA events because there's plenty down here. Like you don't. It's kind of like two separate tours almost. So I wondered.
We had one player who went and saw the course 2 weekends ago and kind of gave us some feedback, and I think based on what I heard, that I think it's going to fit my game well. I think it's going to fit Robin's game, Haley's, Ava's, Gwen's. I think it's going to fit all of our games really well. It's shorter this year. It's like 52, I want to say, which they always play high school golf shorter than like the summer golf I play. But yeah, I've never seen this course before, but we're going up Saturday to see the course. So we'll see the course twice before we tee it up on Monday.
Perfect. All right, Claire. Well, you guys got anything else for her before we let her go?
I have a little bit of an off-the-wall question.
I love those.
Talk a little bit, and I haven't asked a student about this yet, but obviously you all have a new athletic director at May River in Jermaine Bigham. We know Jermaine from his years coaching girls basketball, but talk about what he has brought in to not just golf, but the entire athletic facilities and just the Department of Athletics as the AD, and he's doing obviously a lot with the various programs there at May River.
Coach Bigham has been a really great addition to the May River High School athletic program. I think his presence is definitely being felt within all the sports. I see him at almost every event possible out there supporting us. He was there at our region tournament, and it really means a lot, I know, to each individual sport teams when facility members, especially the athletic director, shows up for you. So I think he's assumed this role very well. He's been a leader for the sports teams. He's been helping them in whatever they need and just being very supportive the whole time.
Awesome. He's been a great one to work with over the years. No doubt about it.
I love Bigham. He's good people. He's good people. Well, thanks, Claire, and we will definitely be talking with you down the road, hopefully. I mean, you won't come on if you have a bad round, so we're hoping for a state championship, so you'll come back on the show and tell us about it.
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
All right, take care, kid.
Thank you.
Thanks, Claire.
Love that kid. She's awesome. Known her for a minute. And there's Wes.
There he is.
He just appears. I saw him coming. You guys might not have. I don't know. I don't know what it looks like on your end. You probably can you see the little people down at the bottom? You can't see the people at the bottom. I see the people at the bottom. You can't see the green room. Only I can see the green room. Now I know. I've always wondered. Now I know. All right. That was fun. I found that out in real time. Well, welcome, Wes. We will talk more about football momentarily, but I got to shout out some MVP sponsors because we just talked with Claire Green from the May River girls golf team. She's awesome, right?
Oh, yeah.
Super awesome.
Really, really awesome.
Yeah, she's cool. But the MVP sponsors of LowcoSports for this season are Megan Jarrett, the realtor, the official realtor of LowcoSports, and my wife. She has been our biggest supporter since the beginning, and she's got the kill switch at her hands, guys. So maybe call her and buy a house here in the Lowco, or sell your house. She's taking listings too, so that we can keep LowcoSports going. But seriously, she's working hard for her clients every day. I see her in and out of here like a chicken with no head, working for somebody every day. So she would love to do that for you and help you find your place in the Lowco. That's Megan Jarrett of the Pierce Group of eXp Realty. And when you find that home, we're going to call on Jan Lucas and the team at Homegrown Home Inspections. I actually have some photos that I took today of Jan and Megan sitting at the dinner table, at the dining table, going through an inspection report for one of her clients, figuring out what they're going to have to get repaired before they sign off on this contract. So they work for you. They work together as a team to make sure that you find a home that's right for you and get everything taken care of before you sign the paperwork. And when it's time to do that, we'll go to Mickelson Law Firm. They're our first sponsors, and still with us 6 years later, the official real estate closing attorneys of the LowcoSports. And you guys know the Mickle Squad, right?
Little
It's
bit,
like
I think.
Ryan, Tiffany, and then there's There's a new one every time you see him. Like there's so many. But Walker, I saw him tonight at the basketball or football game. He got on the podium on the swim for the relay at the state swimming, and Little Mason didn't make it this year, but next year. Mason's just doing it for baseball training like Truman. But love the Mickle squad and Mickelson Law Firm, the official real estate closing attorneys of LowcoSports. And finally, we have Hospice Care, the Low Country. My guy James Dismond had an event today. What's that? Jimmy Diamond? He had an event today.
Jimmy.
Why are you a mime, Libby? You can talk. But Jimmy had an event tonight with my friend Aaron Gagne from Revive Wellness, and it was over at downtown Delhi, venue 1223 or whatever. My wife went, but I haven't talked to her about it yet, so I didn't hear how it went. But I'm sure it was great because it was a Jimmy Diamond event, not a hospice party, but still a Jimmy Diamond event. So it had to be great. But
they're always great.
The Low Country is outstanding. They're taking care of so many people in our community, and now they have palliative care. So if you have chronic needs, they'll take care of you with that as well. So let's get back into it, fellas. Those are the MVP sponsors. I rambled through them a little bit, but that makes them fun. Makes people listen to them instead of skipping them. I think that's what they tell me. That's what the people on the other podcasts tell me. But Wes, welcome. You've been at the massacre in Hardyville, 51-3. Hilton Head Christian just did what they wanted tonight. No Christian Tilton, which made it extra tough for JP2. But your takeaways?
Yeah. It just starts with Hilton Head Christian about how seamless it's been. I mean, they have been a well-oiled machine this back half of the season, and the defense was dominant against JP2 squad that was just trying to find its way, and it was just a complete mismatch on both sides of the ball. Dylan Clark and that Eagle offense, as he said, just having their way. They would not be denied. Clark with a really efficient game, 10 for 1,598 yards and 3 touchdown passes. Gage Zadalokin has become quite a weapon in the receiving game to go along with AJ Hopton and his terrific abilities to find open space and make big catches. He had 2 touchdowns today, and Zadalokin opened the scoring, beautiful 41-yard bomb down the left sideline from Dylan Clark to Gage Zadalokin, and it just was really seamless work all night with an offense, and they ran up the score quickly, and it was running clock in the second half over there in Hardyville. But this team is looking the part of a championship level group. Certainly they had their ups and downs early on in the season, but you go back to what they did, a PD, a shutout, and then giving up just 3 points here. Defense is really a big takeaway for me. And it's not just one guy. We've talked about Reed McCollum, we've talked about Zane Wilson, but Isaiah Anderson made himself known today, had a big presence out there with his athleticism, getting into the backfield, making some stops. Jackson Richardson with a pick 6 in this game. Just a beautiful extension.
I've been hearing about that guy. I've been hearing about him for a while. He's coming.
Bradley Anderson was a beast. Jackson Conrad had 2 sacks. And of course, Reed McCollum doing his thing. He actually got to take over at quarterback in the second half, and he threw a touchdown pass later in the game.
The guys who can't see the green room don't know what's coming. Keep talking, Wes. When you're done, I have a surprise for everybody.
But, this Hilton Head Christian Academy team is starting to look the part as a group that's going to do some damage in November. I think Rob Peduzzi has gotten this team to a unit that plays great complementary defense, and that this air raid offense is just so hard to stop when you have the amount of weapons that they do, and they just continue to get better. And then you got, of course, Dylan Clark didn't have to run that much today. 2 carries for 12 yards. I mean, you think of him as a guy who's normally, run first.
No, they were letting other dudes run it. Crosby was taking a bunch of carries.
They kind of maybe saving his energy for some bigger games down the road. But he was confident in the pocket, and he was throwing accurate balls all night. And this offense is starting to really find its groove. James Crosby, he was able to do a couple things on the ground, but mostly it was through the air. And
I think Crosby was intentionally running into people. Like, seriously, on that one drive, like, I think he could have broken 3 of those, and he intentionally just just plowed into somebody because he wanted to hit somebody. Like, seriously. But we're going to ask our guests about that because they're laughing because I think I'm right. We got Zane Wilson and surprise guest Dylan Clark on the show. What do you say, fellas? Am I right? Was that intentional on Crosby's part? Was he intentionally just trucking people?
We joke around about that all the time. We say that he's always just trying to find a body to hit.
Yeah, I swear.
I don't know if it was intentional, but that's just how he's wired.
I mean, it didn't look like he was even trying to go around him. I was like, does he know he can go around him? Like, he was just going over them, every one of them. It was wild.
Yeah. He needs to get some lessons from Jesse Hall.
No, fellas, pretty workmanlike performance tonight. I mean, I got there, it was already 24-3. I was coming in from basketball or volleyball. And I mean, within like 3 minutes, you had 2 more on the board, and then it was halftime, and then you had 2 more on the board, and the clock was running, and it was over. So you never know with a game like this; it can be kind of a trap. But seems like you guys just went about your business, and so I guess speak to the mindset of this team right now.
Yeah, right now we're kind of aware that
this is Zane Wilson, by the way. The names might have you confused, but that's Zane.
Sorry. Yeah, we're trying to get better headed into the playoffs. Get everybody playing time right now. See what we can do and just improve so that we can hopefully make a deep run in the playoffs.
I was really impressed by the defense tonight. Early from that opening drive, Zane, you were a big part of that. But, I mentioned I just ran through a bunch of guys who made, terrific impacts. You just describe how hard this defense is fighting and, describe your journey as well as a senior because you're a leader of this team. You've been a part of several state championships. Just tell me about how you've been, working to help lead these younger players around you and to cultivate that same junkyard dog level defense that you've been a part of with some other guys throughout the years.
Yeah, so Coach Peduzzi once told us about his senior night when he was in high school and how he wanted to be the rock of the team. So he picked up a rock and he put it in his sock, and he was the rock of the team that night. He was doing whatever it took to take that team to a win. And they're playing against their rivals. So this year that's kind of been my mentality. Just try to maintain consistency and be the rock of the team when people are getting emotional, people are getting in personal battles, people are getting unnecessary penalties. Stay consistent, make tackles, lift people up, and that's what I've seen good leaders do on other teams that I've been on, and I think that's what I tried to do.
You're not putting a rock in your shoe, are you?
Yeah,
no, I don't go that
okay,
far.
Good. That's good.
Zane, talk about where you've seen this defense improve from day one, obviously taking on Savannah Christian to where they are now. I called that game that you guys had a couple of weeks ago with Buford Academy, and obviously the big injury that they had was definitely a big part of that game. But talk about where you guys were earlier in the year to where you are now, especially on the defensive end.
Earlier in the year, we've always been okay at defense. I mean, Savannah Christian's an absolute beast. So they were definitely hard to stop, but we've definitely improved in our run defense. We've been okay at stopping the passes most of the time, but our run defense, some teams will chip away at us. PD a few weeks ago or last week. I'm not sure when it was.
Last week. Yeah, but, I know. Yeah. Time goes fast.
But they had a couple drives where they just chipped away at us. But I think we've been improving on that front. We've been trusting each other more and more because I can't do my job properly if I'm worrying about covering someone else's butt and they can't do their job worrying about me. So if I trust them, I can make plays. They trust me, they can make plays. We open up plays for each other, and we've been improving like that, I believe.
And you've got some speedy and athletic guys to work with on the offensive side. Tell me about Ty Manziel. I've been able to incorporate him into this passing attack along with a veteran guy like Gage Lowco who had a big night. And then AJ Hopt, absolute monster with his ability to get open and reel in some big passes to move the chains and find the end zone.
Yeah, our whole
our whole side of the offense, all of our skill positions have been playing great this year. Like Toddy's a great athlete. We're always trying to find a way to get the ball in his hands, whether that's putting him in the backfield, throwing him a screen pass, or just letting it rip down the field. And then AJ has improved tremendously this year and has played great throughout the whole season and has been a great target for me. And Gage has just been so consistent since last year going into this year. It's been great building a relationship with all those guys and then continuing to improve throughout the weeks.
Libby, you got anything? Where'd Libby go?
Zane Dillon, what feels better, blowout win, nail biter? What do you like?
Nail biter, absolutely, all the way.
Yeah.
Nail biter.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Dylan.
We got you.
Nail biter because we get to play the whole game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blowout.
Fair enough. I was gonna say, I mean, you guys look way too clean and happy and like all that to have just played a football game.
I didn't even
How fun has it been to play in this, air raid, high octane style offense that you guys have run with Ron Peduzzi? It kind of feels like schoolyard ball, a couple times, or playing Madden in the basement with all the passing plays and the things that you run with this offense. How fun has it been to be at the helm and move the ball downfield with some firepower?
It's been great. It always feels like if I just put it out there where the receiver can go get it, 99% of the time they're going to go out and beat the defender. So it's really just trusting the receivers to go out and beat the person lined up across for them, and then trusting the coach's play calls and trusting my reads. And so it's been a lot of fun just playing in this offense.
What are some future goals for you guys? Sorry, Justin. What are some future goals for you guys in terms of finishing up your careers at HHCA and then plans for the future with college and whatnot? Do you both want to continue on playing?
I don't want to play football in college. I love it, and I believe this will be my last year playing. But I'm definitely going to miss it. But I want to win a state championship. I want to lead this team to a state championship and win.
And then I've looked at playing in colleges. I've toured with a few schools and everything like that. And if I end up deciding not to go play at a college, and I will definitely figure out some way, shape, or form to play in like an intramural or club. Yeah. Just always staying around the game because I know that when it's done, I'll miss it.
I'm sure you guys are quite aware that, Hayden Shen, who was once your star quarterback at Hilton Head Christian Academy, is now doing the same thing for the USC club team. So, and looks like he's having the time of his life doing it. So, and Scarpa's playing for them too, right? So, you guys know there are other avenues to keep football in your life while you continue your education, and it doesn't have to be Division I college football or college football at all necessarily on the competitive level. But tell me a little bit about what you guys think about Skeeza 3A going forward, because the seeding, I guess, if we were like seeding it right now, it's probably like Pinewoods 1 and because they haven't lost one in 3A, right? And then it gets messy because like you lost to Wilson Hall and Florence Christian beat Wilson Hall, and so you may be looking at the 4. It doesn't matter really, but what do you guys see as far as how you shake or stack up to the rest of the competition in Skeeza 3A?
I think our offense is rolling right now. Our defense is stopping everyone we're playing. I don't care who we play. We're going to stop them.
Yeah, I'm basically on the same mindset as Zane right now. We played Wilson Hall early in the season, and our offense was not clicking at all. Our defense was playing great the entire game, and offense could not get that done. And like that's mostly my fault. But right now we are playing a lot better, and we have improved almost every week. And I feel like no matter who our defense plays, they're going to be able to stop them. It's just going to be up on the offense to put up enough points to beat them.
Well, they can't win if they can't score, and it's really important to have that strong defense. That's what boils down to so many times in the playoffs. If they can't find a way to push the ball across the goal line and get points, then they can't beat you. So defense is key, but The offense has been rolling as well. Take me back to that bye week after the 0-2 start, falling to the two very strong teams, Fan Christian, of course.
I'm Peduzzi.
But just like take me through that bye week and how you guys, went through that and learned by watching film and just found a new, refreshed mindset to go back out there and play quality football.
I think it boiled down to we knew we had a lot more in us than we showed, and coaches pushed us to it, especially Coach Peduzzi. He had free reign of us for a week, 2 weeks. Didn't have to worry about a game. And so, yeah, Dylan.
You went to boot camp is what happened.
Yes, sir. Kinda.
I just feel like coming after that bye week, we were still playing a really good opponent in Ben Lippin, who has had a pretty good year and who has a good offense and has a good defense. And so just knowing that we were going against a strong opponent and that we needed to play better and knowing that we could play better and, like, knowing that the product that we were showing out on the field was not our best, what really is what pushed us to work harder and become better.
Well, I've been dying to debut my Ron Peduzzi because I do Hatcher all the time,
That was really cool.
I got a pretty good Ron Peduzzi, I tell you.
I think that might be better than Hatcher.
Let me tell you about my senior night, boys. This was a long time ago. Coach Peduzzi. I was the rock of the team. And so, the guys were looking to me. And I said, if I'm the rock of the team, so I'm going to put a rock in my shoe. And I put that rock in my shoe. I played that whole game with that rock in my shoe. That's what the rock of the team does. So you want to be the rock of the team, Zane?
Yes, sir.
Rock in that shoe.
I'll think about it. That was all right. Spot on.
Oh, that's so good, Justin. Oh my gosh.
Add to the repertoire. I can still do his old voicemail. Ron Peduzzi, aka what was it? AKA oh god dang it. I can't remember now. I always knew it. What was it called? Some RJJ Services. That's what it was. Ron Peduzzi, aka RJJ Services. Like, man. I know that one since like 07.
That's so good.
That's awesome.
I finally built a platform where people will appreciate my impersonations of people no one else in the world knows. That's all I've been. My whole life is pointed toward this. Well, we appreciate you, fellas, and congrats on another great performance. And keep it rolling. That's what 6 in a row. 6 in a row.
Seven now.
Seven now.
7, yes, sir.
Yeah,
wow.
7 in a row. Rolling.
Way to go,
I hope
fellas.
to see. I hope you guys make me go to Charleston Southern.
Oh, I hope so
Got
too.
you.
I just wanted to say one more thing. I know we always talk about, or you guys always talk about, all the athletes and players we have on defense and how they've been killing it. But I think a lot of how we've been doing well is Coach Smith's game planning as well.
Yeah.
And he had his 100th win tonight, which was
really
awesome. Yes, sir.
Awesome.
So he started coaching at Hilton Head Christian in 2004.
Dude, I'm telling you, you are right. And I'm going to switch this to the other shot because I'm going to play a video Coach Smith in a minute. But you're absolutely right about his game planning and his film breakdown. There is, I don't care, NFL, I don't care what level we're talking about. There is nobody who breaks it down better than that guy. And he knows tendencies and he calls plays based on formations from the sideline because he knows exactly what they're doing. Like, it is unreal what he does. And I think he learned it from Vinny Emery. Honestly, he was the same way. That dude was amazing. But we got Coach Smith right here.
What are you doing? My job, exactly.
I might say a dirty word in this, so
that's all we're doing.
Sue us.
Crosby, ball carrier, tackle made by Mercer.
Look at you. You're on the sideline. The DC. What do you think about this offense? Looking pretty good. Just score points.
Berkner.
I love doing this shit.
Here we go. Come on. God, you guys are running so much clock. Come on, just run the dang play. Oh, here we go. Crosby's going to truck somebody just for fun. What? You can't tell me. You can't tell me you couldn't have evaded that
We found the one guy.
That was on purpose.
Why is it on me? I don't know right now. I'm gonna make you too much money.
I'm gonna make you too much money, he says. I'm gonna make you too much money. Unreal. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Gosh dang it. I'm pushing all the wrong buttons, fellas. But I'm glad you said something about Matt Smith, so it made me think to show that video that I made tonight. But that he's a trip. I love that guy. I've known him since the beginning here in 05, I guess, back with Tommy Lewis back in the day. So I've seen a lot of good HHCA teams. This one's starting to look like, one of those special ones. So again, I hope we see you at Charleston Southern in November.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for inviting us.
Thanks for your time, fellas. We appreciate you.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Keep going.
How much fun was that? Libby, are you just grinning up there? I'm switching people around here because we're in all the wrong places. There we go. And then I'm going to put us in this other.
My favorite thing is kids. Whenever we get the kids on there, they're so professional.
Dude, that's why I made sure that you came on tonight, because I had I knew I had a 2-pack. I didn't know I was getting Dylan. I knew I was getting Zane. I didn't know I was getting Dylan. Zane lined that up, so that was money.
And
2 for
I'm
1.
very impressed with those guys. No doubt.
Yeah, those guys are awesome. Claire Bear, just amazing. I'm still gonna make her intern with me if she ever slows down on her golf training long enough, but
yeah,
that probably won't happen because she's trying to go play D1, so it's not gonna happen. But let's shout out some more sponsors. Varsity sponsors: DDS Web Design. If you need a website, or if yours is not getting clicks, you need to call on DDS Web Design at DDSHHI.com. Dave and Denise and their team will get you a website built or rebuilt and get it up and running with the best SEO or search engine optimization tactics to make sure that you can get found online so you can do more and think bigger. So check them out and let them know that Lowco sent you. And then we have the Parker Law Group, our friends out there in Hampton, Colleton, and Jasper counties, the Outer Lowco. I love the Outer Lowco. It's my favorite. They've been serving folks with their legal needs for years, and now they're helping us and supporting our cause to help us expand our coverage in those counties and shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes around the Lowco. And certainly we do that. We are loving on everybody from Colleton to Hampton to Jasper to Beaufort. And boys, let's talk a little more about some other stuff going on. I was at volleyball tonight. May River swept Lugoff Elgin. I got a little video of that I can pull up in a minute. Have you seen any other volleyball results, Wes? I know Bridges Prep swept in 1A.
See if I can get
won in 1A.
From Hilton
Not
Head.
sure about Hilton Head, but
the Oxford in action as well tonight in that first round.
I had some video queued up from the May River match. They look good. And speaking of Bigham, he was there. I saw Bigham eating his dinner in the stands like an AD, like a good AD does, sitting in the bleachers eating his dinner from the concession stand. But yeah, we got the final point here for May River. It was a pretty good one. They won 24-15, 24-15, and 24-14, I believe. But this was a great point. Oh man, it went on forever. Look at that. Nice get. No, this wasn't. I don't think this was the last point. Yeah, maybe it was. Yeah, okay, it was. Yeah. There was another crazy long rally. It was like Lugoff came out kind of flat in the third set after losing the first 2. And it looked like May River was just going to wax them. And then they stepped it up on defense for and won several crazy long rallies to stay alive when they were on match point. But then May River finished them off. So on to the next one for the Sharks. And I took my 10-year-old daughter who is interested in volleyball. And I asked, this is what I always ask after we do one of these things. More interested or less interested in playing volleyball now? More interested for sure. Okay.
That's what
good deal. Say. We got a little passion. Let's see what happens.
They got a trip to North Myrtle Beach now in round 2 for May River.
Right. I couldn't tell you, honestly. I haven't looked at the brackets yet. Since, I mean, for what would be in the next round. I mean,
it's going to be a tough road no matter what, but you cannot count this Sharks team out, especially by the competition they've had to go up against, and just the mettle that they've continued to instill in them. That they have the talent to hang with some of these top teams in class, in the Lord's Day class already. Because these region teams. Oh, Hilton Head girls lose in 5 sets to Myrtle Beach on the road.
Oh man, that's a rough one. Marcus has disappeared. He's an empty chair and Chief Wahoo now.
Gotta make sure that I've got the chart ready.
They went up 2-1. They went up 2 sets to 1. They won 30-28 in the third, and then they got beat pretty handily in the 4th and 5th set. Just couldn't close it out.
That's tough. That's a good showing though. I'm sure James Island rolled 3-0 over Wilson. Oh no, Wes is a rainbow spinner, white spinner.
He is.
But he's a spinner. No score from Lucy Beckham yet. All right, so we're looking up volleyball results live on the air now, guys. That's the portion of the show we've reached now, because that's what happens when you do a live local sports show during the playoffs. We got playoffs. We got to look up. That sounded like Ron Peduzzi instead of Jim Mora. Playoffs.
Right. When I was in New Hampshire just a couple of weeks ago. That's right. When I was in New Hampshire just a couple of weeks ago, I actually saw Dartmouth play one of their volleyball matches. And I tell you what, I saw a very little bit when I was in high school and a very little bit when I was in college. It is definitely
college volleyball is amazing
and really, really active sport. It's something else. And it was women's volleyball that I was at on that Saturday night. A lot of fun.
College women's volleyball is tremendous. It's played at a high level, especially the Mizzou teams were just phenomenal. Oh, we got a new Wes joining the show now. I thought, new Wes is here. New Wes has arrived. We've cloned Wes. Oh, Lucy Beckham had a bye tonight. They had byes, huh? May River will go to North Myrtle. James Island will get Flora. Man, that's tough. Hilton Head would have won its next one against Westwood, I bet you. Oh, Wes is having issues. And Wes is gone. Both Old Wes and New Wes are now gone. But talking about football some more, fellas, because we got into it a little bit earlier, but we did not get too deep into that. I don't like Bluffton Bowl. It feels wrong. It would be like if you called like USC, UCLA, the USC Bowl or something, it's wrong. It's got to be either the B-Town Bowl or I don't know. B-Town Bowl? State of Mind Bowl. The State of Mind Bowl. We're soliciting your niche.
The Battle of Stony Creek.
Stony Creek.
Maria would like that one, Kev.
I like the Battle of Stony Creek. That's pretty good. Wes, we're soliciting new names for the Bluffton versus May River rivalry because Bluffton Bowl does not sit well with me because it's the name of one of the competitors. So I've thrown out
the hometown showdown at some point. I don't know if that's
they tried to push that. I don't think it caught on. I think it failed. I think it flopped.
Yeah, I was a huge fan of that.
Went down. B-Town Showdown could work.
It's not bad.
That could work for me. The Battle for Stony Creek is pretty good though. Kevin Libby has suggested the Battle for Stony Creek. We could call it the Battle for the Secession Oak Bowl. That's Battle for Pritchardville. I don't know. We're auditioning names, but let's talk about the actual game because I think it's really interesting. The offenses are probably going to have upper hands, I think, but Bluffton's defense stood in pretty strong against James Island and showed me a little something that those may be a question mark early. May River's defense has been fairly tough most of the year. So, but I still think the offenses are going to dictate it because I think Bluffton wants to go. They're going to go regardless. And I think Macy's kind of content to go with them. Like he likes to go too. And I think what they're doing on offense now is conducive to that more than what they used to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always viewed Bluffton as a little bit more of a flashy team offensively. May River can go various ways. Obviously, it helps when you've got a guy that is this dual threat as Tanner Macy is. And when you've got Tanner Macy and Gage Duncan, and don't forget about Cameron Mitchell in the backfield as well, and just a couple other guys that can really make some big plays. That's really what sets it up. And I agree completely with what we've certainly heard from Coach Gregory, certainly, is that like with a lot of these other teams, it's all about the play within the trenches. I'm the play-by-play guy, so I love seeing, the flashy plays and whatever that make me hoarse. But at the end of the day, it is all about what is done in between the trenches, in between the hedges on those white lines. And both these teams have really good offensive lines, and they can run the football when they need to, which really helps out with some play action passing, especially on the side of May River. Special teams are really good. Some defense, get that thrown in. And, I mean, this is going to be my first time seeing Bluffton live this year. So I'm really looking forward to it, of course, as I've seen them a lot.
They're fun.
They're fun. They're always fun. Kev, I mean, we know certainly how great
they weren't always fun. There were a few years where they were not fun.
And
they were not fun, and then they were fun, and then they were not fun, and now they're fun.
I'm speaking primarily of the time that I've covered them. They've been pretty dang good for most of that time.
There were a couple of years there, buddy, where they were not fun. You're lying to yourself if you thought they were fun for a couple of years there.
I know you were really impressed with how that game went against Hilton Head.
Yeah,
I was impressed with them in that game.
Defense played well. Doyle, that guy really impressed me. Shane Learker has always been a dude in the trenches, and they've got some guys who know how to play well.
Curry obviously is a beast.
Jeremiah Curry, of course, who's going to the North-South game, which big honor for. I don't know if we mentioned that, but we got.
We haven't. We were kind of waiting for you and the little football segment. So Jeremiah Curry, KJ Chisholm from Whale Branch, and then the Hampton guys, Zion Dobson, who just put on an absolute show and clinic in that 64-0 beatdown of Woodland, and then his teammate Kayvon Chisholm. So those are our four representatives for the North-South game, and certainly, I think you're right. I think those are the four guys that are most deserving throughout the year. It's a loaded list. The South team has a ton of talent on it, and I'm excited to see how they use Zion Dobson in that game because they listed him as a wide receiver, but I expect him with his breakaway speed and just incredible athleticism. I think they're going to find a way to use him in various capabilities throughout that contest. So, and he could be an absolute star in that game too. Yeah, so I have a little insight on that because I think Ian included a note in the roster that the running back slots were full, right? But they had like an athlete slot. So they are going to use him some at running back, but they're also going to show him at receiver and kick returner, which I think is ideal for him. Because he's really a versatile guy. I mean, look at him. He's big and he can run. Like, he can play slot receiver easily. Like, it's an easy conversion. And they run stuff where they run an offense where they use slots on jets and stuff. So he's going to understand an offense that utilizes a slot like that. So I think it's a good thing for him. It's good he's on the roster because, he almost wasn't, it sounds like, and that would have been wrong. It would have been crazy. He should have been in the Shrine Bowl, in my opinion. And so, God, he's good. Look at that. And then I don't know why, but when they switched cameras, it blacked out on us. But Drake DeLoach with the lift on that one. TJ must have been on the sideline. He didn't get to do the lift. And then there's Xavier Garvin, who is electric as well. Man, I love Hampton. They're fun. Yeah. And one time's going to come on the show with us too at some point. That's not even Zion. That's just baby Zion, Chase Manigault. They got more Zions. Oh, yeah. And then these idiots. That was not called, by the way.
that was
I don't know who called it, but it wasn't the coaching staff. They claim it was a bad snap, but I have my doubts. And then Jalen Singletary, I thought he was going to get in on this, man. Oh, couldn't see it, but I thought he was going to get in. But he got in on the next play anyway. Look at that.
Wow.
525-32.
Talk about a
420 rushing yards.
Oh my.
Man.
That was bananas. That was number 5 versus number 6, gentlemen. Not anymore.
Yep.
Wow.
That was impressive.
They're good.
But I did want to.
Now they get some time to relax.
You know what they did tonight? You know what they did tonight?
They went golfing.
Top golf. Have you seen it already? Is it on the Insta?
Yeah, I saw it on
Twitter.
IG yet? I saw it on Twitter today.
Okay, Zion was supposed to send me some videos from Top Golf. I don't think I've gotten them yet.
Yeah, I just saw a picture they posted on their Twitter account.
Well, Zion and Hannah both promised me video content from Top Golf, and I said I want to see Zamon break a club, and I want to see DeMonte try to swing a club with that club on his hand. Those are the two things I most want to see. And actually, I also want to see how far Kayvon and Mickey can hit the ball, because those two dudes got some juice. But I wanted to talk a little more about Tanner Macy, because, I said this offense wants to go a little bit more than they did last year. And I think it's just because Macy is now ready. He just wasn't quite physically there yet. Mentally, as far as the competitor goes, he was there, but he was still, looked like a boy, and now he looks like a man. And so now he's more like Ahmad Green and Garvin Douglas, and the offense looks more like it did with them. So let's look at these highlights from last week, because he was cutting it up. It was pretty dirty. And this is the reason why all season I've been on Bluffton in this matchup, and I'm starting to waver a little bit. Macy's really finding it.
Yeah,
he's finding it. And
yeah, I think that
my concern is Kason Williams, or Kason Simmons, that big old joker.
He's been a nice target, but Macy can fly, and Bluffton's going to have their hands. Bluffton. I am encouraged, like you said, by how they did defensively against James Island. Because that was a good statement.
That's the thing that's keeping me kind of on the fence. Yeah. Is that their defense may be getting better, and if they can contain, it's hard to contain him. Yeah. But I imagine Curry's going to spy him, right? Something like that, you got to make somebody else beat you,
right? You don't have that secondary, right? Like
I think back to that game,
they could have really been used a guy like a Jaden Jones, another bruising back, because
I think Jordan Williams was having some success early. I'm not sure what happened there, but it looked from those highlights, it looks like they're running a lot of empty stuff. And just let Macy, freelance and RPO, which is really fun and interesting. Like, this is going to be a really fun game. Yeah. I'm not going to go because all of you are going to be there. Plus Brady Sacha, who's now getting really good at video. Really, really good at video. Seriously good at video.
Here.
Shout out to Sly over at Broughton High, who's his Sly. You know Sly? Or are you talking about Satcha? Are you in Fallujah?
I like
Libby?
Satcha. Satcha's my boy.
You're like
Gotcha.
Satcha is wonderful.
Satcha.
Satcha is wonderful. But
I am in a war zone.
The media tech teacher, yeah, I'm known as what's it called? Palmetto. What's it called? Something Point. I don't know. That place over there by the murder Kroger. But no, Satcha's got a great teacher, Sly, over at Bluffton High School. See, he just heard the joke. Over at Bluffton High School, who's got him on Premiere, and he's learning how to edit, and it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. But he's gonna have stuff. So I'm gonna go up to Carlton. I'm going up to Carlton Prep for BA Carlton Prep. I haven't been up there. They got a LowcoSports banner on the fence that Coach Galangdale called me before the season or emailed me or whatever and said, send me a logo. We're putting a banner on the fence. So I got to show my face up in, Walterboro and see my people up there. And it should be a really good game too. I think going into the season, we definitely thought BA was the better team, but Carlton Prep has gotten better and better and better. And with Devontae Green out, BA is not quite the same team they were. So I think it's a pretty even matchup. And they had two Donnybrook.
Well, they had that semifinal state championship was a thriller.
Yeah, and the one in the regular season came down to Carlton going for two at the end of the game to win and getting stopped.
Yep.
That was wild. Respect to Langdale still for going for it. That's what you do. You're down one on. Okay, look, that's a great debate because we've seen it a lot lately with these coaches kicking the extra point when you can go for two to win it at the end of the game on the road. And I think on the road, especially if you're the underdog,
you
have to go for two.
You're the underdog.
Right?
Oh, you got to do it. It puts all the pressure on the home team. If you're the favorite, maybe there's a discussion.
Yeah.
Like if you're coming from behind and you're the favorite and you think you have the edge in overtime, kick the field goal. But if you're trying to pull up an upset on the road, you have nothing to lose. And Colts represent that position. They were the underdog. They were the team that
they were.
It was playing with house money in that game. And so I think that was the right decision.
Oh, he earned a ton of respect with me that night because I was like, yes, do it. I mean, it helps. It's easy in Skiza because half the time your kicker's about a 35% proposition on the POT anyway. So you're going for two no matter what. So that's a little different. Some of them don't even kick it ever. It's all 2-pointers. But saw some Thomas Hayward guys at the game tonight. They're on a roll. I mean, they lost the one to Hilton Head Christian, but got back after it with BA last week. And so I saw Touchdown Tony, Cutter Williams, Eli McLemore, Ethan Palazzo, who had that great catch and run and avoided the hammer from Dietrich for a touchdown. That was a big play. And Kellen Frepp, who had the tip drill pick. So I had a good chat with them at halftime tonight. They're pumped. They want to go give Pinewood hell tomorrow. They're fired up, and they love Tyree, man. They love Tyree. Love it.
It's a fun team.
They got
very fun team.
Yeah, they told me Tyree's theme song, and then they giggled when I said I was going to tell him. So I don't know if I'm supposed to tell him or if they were setting me up or what. But regardless, Tyree's good people, and they confirmed my suspicions about what's going on out there and the impact that Tyree's having on that program. So it was cool to have him on a few weeks back. But let's shout out a couple more sponsors, fellas. As soon as I find the right tab, we got the Lowco Booster Club. You know them by now. We got you want to just do them from memory, Libby? We got Prime IV Hydration and Wellness now open in Belfair Town Village. Libby's excusing himself. Go see Max, get juiced up, sit in the massage chairs, and then go over to Rooted Living Wellness. Coach JJ went over there. He was on the Instagrams the other day talking about going over to Rooted Living Wellness and seeing Mr. Ambrose. And he did get me cracked up and feeling so much better. I'm not even kidding, dudes. Like, I've been to a couple different chiropractors, and I thought I had a really good one. I did have a really good one, but I went to Ambrose and I was like, whoa, there's another level. At one point, Ambrose had me sitting up like this, and he stood up on the table next to me so that he could get more leverage and work down the side of my neck with like this balm. And I was like, after he was done, I was like, oh, that's how my neck's supposed to feel. Oh my gosh. So I'm telling you, Rooted Living Wellness, legitimately amazing experience. It's like you get a chiropractic adjustment, a massage, therapy, because he'll just like talk to you about your problems. He'll give you exercises to strengthen the areas so that it doesn't get out again. Like it's a whole body thing. It's special. So go see Ambrose. That was an extra special ad read. Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country. If you want to get your floors so clean that your feet will thank you, call my friend Chris Odom over at Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country. Wood floors, tile, vinyl, carpet, upholstery, even your ceilings. He'll get it all clean, and he'll do it with a pleasant Southern accent and a smile. And you can also talk about horror movies with him because despite his pleasant demeanor, he's a horror fan. And then Eagle Creations, one of the best kept secrets around here. If you need promotional items, business cards, printing needs, custom gift baskets filled with regional goods. Where are you taking us, Libby? We are on a roller coaster ride over there, Bubs.
The tour of
all over the place. Wow. Yeah. I feel like I just saw Charlie Day's apartment and Charlie Kelly's apartment. Oh, no. What has happened? What had happened? What had happened? But Eagle Creations has lots of good stuff. Go over on Argent Boulevard.
I tried to plug in an Ethernet cable.
Fail. And the Court Lifestyle Pros, Daniel and Debbie Court, your friends and ours, Low Country natives selling the Lowco lifestyle on HHI. That's the Lowco Booster Club. Wes, did you see the South Carolina F's Football Coaches Association Awards? I know Zion had one.
Zion, and then a couple made River entries as well that were selected for the weekly awards.
The show is mostly just me trying to remember what I saw on social media earlier, and then being like, "Hey, Wes, do you have that in real time, live?"
Yeah, we got two May River Sharks. We got Ethan Sprinkle, who's been really underrated.
Oh yeah,
he's been
he's a hammer.
For
the
Sharks.
He's a player to look out for tomorrow.
And then on the line, Will Morrow on the line also getting an honor from May River. And then,
offensive linemen go out for wrestling. Will Morrow would agree.
And then we got two Hampton County standouts, of course, Zion Dobson. This is an incredible 5-touchdown game on the ground. And also Rafe Sullivan getting an on special teams.
Rafe Sullivan. All right. Yeah, he did kick a crap ton of extra points. They were in the end zone all night. He would have had one more if somebody didn't have a bad snap and throw a trick play. Oh, sure, bad snap, but why was Jazz in the end zone wide open? That's what I want to know. I see it, Jazz. We saw what happened, Jazz. We know you called that. I love Jazz, though. But no, they had a good laugh about it. But Hannah had to apologize in midfield, like, "Hey, dude, I didn't call that." I was on the air and I was like, oh, that was a fun play, but you can't. It was like, what was it, like 55-0 when they ran that? That was funny. We got to do athletes of the week, right? Where are you going, Wesley?
I think I'm gonna go with Claire Green from River Golf.
You missed her. She was wonderful.
Yeah, she was terrific. I think I've spoken to her before, but hopefully we can get her on again after they win the state championship.
That's what I told her. She's got to win it so we can get her back because she'll be too mad to come on if she doesn't.
Yeah, but 71 in a big time event like that, she's been rock solid. Consistency for the Shark program that is right up there at the top. I think you mentioned Pickens, who is always going to be at the top, especially when you have to go to like a true road event. They're going to be playing at home, so they have home course advantage, so that's always a factor. But Claire Green's, she has to shoot low for the Sharks to win. She's got to establish that strong score, and then it's up to some of those other players to put up solid scores behind her to give the Sharks a chance. So she's going to be absolutely huge. She's going to put up that number.
2 Spider-Mans. Sorry. There were 2 Libby's, so I had to make them be 2 Spider-Mans pointing at each other for a second. Go ahead. Yeah, Claire's awesome. And she's got to set the tone, and then Robin's got to play well, and they all got to play well. I mean, it takes everybody in team golf. So it's so weird with 2 Kevin Libby's. Oh, now there's just 1 Kevin Libby. He's muted.
Can you hear me out?
You're tripping me out, dude. Yeah, you've gone all over the place. You're going all over the place. I will go athlete of the week with some of the swimmers. Most notably, Mark Lafayette and Riley McGoldrick. And I'm trying to remember the other one off the top of my head. Samantha Fensterbaker. Those were the 3 who took 2 golds from the Skeeza State meet. So Fenstermaker and Lafayette from Hilton Head Prep, and McGoldrick from JP2. Those were all the double gold winners from the Skeeza meet. So those will be my athletes of the week. You guys got anybody to throw in the mix, or have you haven't done any research? So I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, I took a look at some of the numbers of Claire Green. I'll go with Claire. And to talk to her for the first time, I certainly listened to her. I think you guys had her on a Monday night about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, we had her and Robin. Yeah.
Well, yes, that's the one. And I'm just really impressed with her. I'm really impressed a little bit that I know about the May River golf team. So I'll give Claire another huge shout out, and I'll have her as my player of the week.
All right. Yeah, excellent. Libs?
I want to see Owen Bays outside the numbers offense. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm interested. There's a lot I'm interested in. There's a lot. I mean, there's just a lot of baggage. You know, you got Carnell and Ridgeway.
Right.
Were both at May River last year, and there's a couple other guys that were there before that came over to Bluffton, and so there's a good bit of that that is interesting. And then there's just they don't like each other. Period. Like coaching staffs don't particularly like each other. Like schools don't really like each other. Like it's a good old fashioned rivalry. Like just don't like them. Team across the river. That's what Dave Adams used to call Hilton Head, the team across the river. And it always drove me batty because it's not a river. There's no river between Bluffton and Hilton Head. It always drove me crazy. Beaufort's the team across the river. But anyway, that's my same beef with the Bluffton Bowl. It doesn't work for me. We got to get something different. So not sure what we'll call it. But all right, fellas. Well, I think that'll do it for this voyage. It was good times, but we have a doubleheader tomorrow. We'll be hitting it at lunch for Lowco Game Day Live at 12:30, and then Lowco Pigskin Live, bringing it home at 11:30 p.m. And I suspect both of you gentlemen will be along for the ride. Marcus and the Libs.
For sure. Need for both of them.
Yep. The Libs is usually busy during the daytime.
True.
Yeah. I'll go for you.
I'm not around for late night, though.
Yeah. Yeah. But you'll be in the comments, I'm sure, during the daytime. Avoiding work.
I watch my roundup. Yeah.
Right on. All right, fellas. Well, thanks so much to all of our sponsors. Thanks to Claire Green for coming on, and congrats to her and best wishes at the state meet. Thanks to Zane Wilson and for dragging along Dylan Clark. That was awesome. That was fun times, and they were great, as all of our guests always are. I'm always impressed. And thanks to you fellas for coming along the ride, as well as everyone else who listened or watched. You're the reason we keep doing it. Please give me positive feedback on my Ron Peduzzi impression. Keep the negative feedback to yourself. Yeah. And until next time, go Lowco.
The Lowco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing.